So you have to see to it that the sump is working, and then also um, so in our sump hdocs, so for example personal information, so that is the name of the folder, and then when I download this file, HTML. Download. Okay. Again, so I created a new project. So in my sump, and then htdocs, and then personal information, create form, then create process, database connection, index, login, read, update process. Okay, so database connection, save, index, save, login, save, read form, save, update form, then last is the update process. And then for the database connection, so we have to create this database, so student information DB or stud info DB. So we have to go to our localhost, then PHP myadmin, then let's create a database for that, and then let's check the columns and table names. So the table name is information, so we have to create that, and then we have only two columns. We have the name and address, but I'll be adding one for my ID. So we have the ID. So basically for the ID, I will make it as auto increment and name and address. So that is text, and then address. Let's save. Okay. Then let's see. Localhost, then personal information. So the login, create, read, update, and okay. For example, paper SFC, submit, there, address. What happened to the address? The name is address, and personal information. So I'll be using my Sublime as my text editor. Then I'll open that folder, open. Sump first HD docs and personal info. Probably I'll be using the Visual Studio. File, open folder, sump, SD doc, personal information. Personal information, select folder. Task test. Okay. For the create, we have the create form. Let's see our create form. The name is address, then we have the form name. Submit, when we click the submit button, it will go to our create process. So this is our create process. Now in our create form, we have two text box, one for the name, for the full name, and then we have the address. So when we click to submit, so we have to double check all these spellings. So here we have the full name, we have the address and address, so they are correct. Name, variable name, and then we have the variable address. Now how about this one? In our database, you have to check, this is integer, so that's why when we input some information or data in our text box, this is a string, but in our database the data type is an integer, so that's why when we click the submit button, then the address is 0. So we have to change this one, the data type, the address should be text, then save, and then let's try it again, create, submit, there you go. So we have Baguio. Okay, and then create, read, update. So let's check. Here we have the IDs 1, update the ID number 1 with the new name, any name, for example Maria Artino, Manila, then update, there you go. Yeah. Okay, so for example this one, if we don't have any address here, so ID number 2, update ID number 2, same with the name Jojo 2, then San Juan, update, there you go. Okay, next we have the delete. So same with the update. One of the requirements for updating is you should have a unique data. Like for example, in my demonstration, the unique data is the ID. Okay, let's first add a new tab in our navigation bar here, which is the delete. Where is our navigation bar? Where is our navigation? It's in our index. Update form. We will create a delete form there, and then same with the update form. Let me copy this one, and then let's try to create a new file, which is the delete underscore form .php. So this is our form. Basically we only need the ID number. So for example this one, we remove the other labels, for example the name and address. So we put only one label here and one text box for the ID, and then when we click the submit button, we will go to the delete process, save. So for that we have to create this one, this file, we have the delete underscore process dot php. So take note, we have even though in other references you can create or you can use only one file for the form, and then one file for the form and then the process. So there, so this is another method. I'm using two files, one for the form and one for the process. So it's up to you if you want to use only one file for the process and form, or you can separate the process and then the form. But for me, I'm separating the form and then the process. Okay, so let's go back. So in our delete form, so when we click the submit button, it will go to the delete process. So this is my delete process. It's still empty. So basically, we need the database connection. Like for example, for in our create, we need database connection, delete process. So we have to put the PHP, then also the database connection. So you can copy this one, include the database connection, and also the navigation bar. So this is our navigation bar, the index.php. Do we need that? Because this is a process. No, I don't think so. But anyway, let's put that in there. Okay, so for the database connection, so this is our database connection. We have only one line. We have one variable, which is con, and then one function or method, which is the mysqli underscore connect, and then we have the host name, password, username and password, and then we have the let me say this the database name. By the way, class, for this one, what is the username and password? So, because I've already fixed this problem, because during my previous demonstration I cannot open the user account, right? By the way, I uninstalled the old version of the PHP, I mean the SAMP, because I need a new version of the SAMP in order for me to run the other programming language, kasi it requires a new version. Anyway, again, here in our database connection, we have the host name, the username and password, right? And then as well as the database name. Now here in our user account tab, you can create, by the way, if you install newly installed applications, the SAMP application, the default username is root. Okay, the default username is root, the default password is empty or null, and then we have the host name, localhost, localhost, and also there. So that is the default username, password, and then the host name. So if you will notice here, we have 127.0.0.1. You can also use this one rather than using the localhost. You can change that one to 127.0.0.1. Okay, let's try. Refresh. Anyway, for the create, again for the database connection, if you will notice, I changed the host name a while ago, that is localhost, but I changed it to the IP address 127.0.0.1. Okay, so create Maria Aquino Bawang, submit. Yeah, Maria Aquino Bawang. Okay, you can also create your own username and password, but for security purposes, and it's highly suggested that if you are deploying or if you are creating a project, don't use the default usernames and passwords, right? Because it is prone for hacking. So in order for you to prevent hacking, you don't have to use the default username and password. So basically, you have to remove this one to make it more safer, and then you can create a new username password. Let's see, for example, localhost. Then I mean the username, my name Jofer, then host name localhost, dito localhost, And then password, any password, for example, admin 12345, admin 12345. If you will notice here, we have um, indications if your password is weak or strong. Because I'm using only yung password. Ano? So, note. Where's my notepad? Okay, so the password kasi that time I use is just only admin 12345. But if you want to make it more complex, more stronger, why not use other special characters, like for example at sign for the letter A, and then you can also use the underscore to make it more stronger, the passwords. Good, right? And so on. Okay. But I'll make it na lang, as easy na admin 12345 there. Okay. Admin 12345. No need to generate because you've already put the password. You provided the password already, so no need to generate. And for the database for user account, you can create and grant all privileges, including this one. This is very important. You can select, insert, update, delete, and then you can also upload the file and so on the like. And then yeah, so we don't have any problems later on. So you have to secure that all these things are checked. And then go there. Okay, so now we created a new username and also the host names and passwords. I mean password. So we go to our code. So this is our code. Let's try. We have the username. The username is Jofer, and then again the password is admin 12345 if I'm not mistaken, and then the host name is localhost. Okay, yan. So eventually you can create your own account, and it's much more safer. So let's see. Yeah. And from Palawan. See, there you go. So we can still connect to our database even though that we change the user account. But if in case that we put some usernames or account that is not included in our user accounts, what will happen? So this will happen if in case that you entered a new the user accounts that are not included in our user account. Submit. Okay, yan, unconf MySQL I expect blah blah, access denied. Okay, so you don't have any access to your database, to our database, because we don't have this username, the 12345. Okay, yeah. So you have to see to it that the username that you will be putting in here, or the password, or even the host name is also included in your user account in here. Okay, yeah. So it's all working. Now in our delete form, one of the requirements, parang the same with the edit. I mean update, right? One of the uh, one of the requirements is the ID, because that is a unique number. I've already explained to you why we need a unique identification. Kasi for example, we have let me update yung number 2, which is the Jojo. Jofer, and then Manila. Update. If you will notice here, we have 2 Jojo kasi. I mean Jofer pala. Record number 2 and record number 6, same name, different address. But if in case in our update process, we will update any information that is Same with the example name. Ay, wait lang. Let me check. The, the, the column name there is name, right? Name. So name, and then we have the variable name, variable name. Okay, so yan na. Update information, this is the name of the table again, and then set, this is the name of the column, and then this is the name of the variable that we, what is this? Okay. This is the name of the variable address, and then we have the name. No. Let me remove this one. Okay, so name, and then anything that we enter in the full name in our text box will be updated. Okay, so for where name is equal to name. So for example here we have the same name, right? Update. Ooh, wow, wait, let me, where we don't have any ID here, right? We don't have any ID, but we change the address based on the name. Okay. So the this variable is from our post, which is in our form we have the full name. So that is enter a new name. Enter a new name. So this one, okay, Jofer. Update Jofer address. Again, Jofer, we have two records for the Jofer, for Jofer. One address is Manila, and the other one is SDDD, etc. Okay, so same name Jofer, and then for example USA. Update. So all the records with the name Jofer will be changed the address to USA. So that's why it's very important that the basis of the record should be unique. Okay, dapat unique siya. So that's why I'm using ID, and if you notice in my database, it is auto increment and primary key. We all know that if it is a primary key, it is unique. Okay, wala siyang katulad. So it is unique. Again, in my update information, the name of the table, and then we have the set, the name, the address, where, this is my basis, the ID. Okay, yan. So for that is for the update. Now let's go to the delete. Now delete form, we only need to enter the ID number, because the ID will be our basis, like I said. And then when we click the update, delete, it should be delete. And navigation bar, hindi siya update but delete. Save, delete, save, delete. We have delete, then delete. So for example, I want to delete the record number 5. Delete number 5. Delete. Read. Nothing happened. Why? Because in our delete process, still we have the database connection, but we don't have any query. So we need to have a query. Dapat meron tayong query. So you can go to our PHP MyAdmin, go to your database and table, and then click the SQL, and then we have the delete. Just copy the SQL command. I forgot. Let me copy na lang this one. Copy in our delete process. Yeah. Okay, so in our delete form, if you notice, we have only one, which is the ID, right? So in our delete process, we have only the ID. Okay, again, in our delete process, we only need the ID and nothing else. So we have the ID, then delete process, ID, and then we have the address. Ah, do we need the address? No, we don't need the address. And then we have the SQL query. So rather than the insert, so basically it should be delete. Okay, our database connection, delete from information where ID is equal to ID. Delete process, not 0. And kasi if that is 0, where 0, what will happen? Let's see what will happen if our SQL command is delete from information where 0. So there, and then if we click the delete, nothing will happen there. Nothing will happen because delete. Nothing will happen, right? Delete. Okay. But when we put a specific unique record, which is the ID, and where the ID is equal to ID, again, I want to delete record number 5. So delete the record number 5, delete. There. I want to delete the record number 3, delete record number 3, delete. Okay, so that is for the delete delete method. Do we still have time? Still have time. Okay. I want to upgrade our read module, because if you will notice here, this is old-fashioned way. Why? Because you need to enter the ID number, but what if you forgot the ID? Okay, rather than going to the read module, why not in our read module we will combine our read module with the update and delete module. For example, wait, yeah, example. Okay, let me open a subline. Then open some other sample. Respect registration system. No. Student information. Study. Search. Oh, we don't have any search pa. Search method. Okay. Ayun, read. Okay. Ayaw. Let's go to our Visual Studio Code. Read form. Okay. So we have here the looping statement, while etc. etc. What method will be the best? For the edit method, what if edit method 1, edit method 2, I'm using post. Okay, post na lang this one. Sige. This under TD. Okay. For example, we have the edit. Then here, by the way, this is the table TR, and then we have the TD, table data. Now for the table data, we'll be using again, open. Using the form. Nasa read form ba yun? I'll be explaining to you this one later on, okay? This is just only design. So for the design, edit, save. Let me try it first. There, we have the delete button. If you notice, we have the delete button there. So in that delete button, we have, I actually used a form. Okay, again, we are inside the PHP. Okay, we are inside the PHP. And if you want to use HTML tags, so for example, yung table, tr, the form, okay, so for example, this one kasi, it's pure HTML. It's outside our PHP. But in our read form, inside our PHP, we included HTML tags. So I have to use echo. Okay, this is in a looping statement, and I think I've already have a discussion on this. What is the use of the while and so on, like why we need the looping statement? Because in our database, it will get all the records in our database. So I need to use a looping statement. Okay, yeah. Now here, so this is my form, and this is my form. So when I click the submit button, it will go to the edit method. Another object inside my form, I have here the this is for the ID, this is for the name, and this is for the address. Okay, name, ID, what's that name, then address. Alam, kasi it will dapat it will go to this, the update process. So sorry, update underscore process. Okay, again, just take a look at this one. Okay, just focus in this part. Oops, just focus in this part. Okay, though it's under the TD in table row. When we click the submit button, it will go to our update process, which is this one. This is our update process, right? And now in our update, in our read form, just like here, Just like here, you have the full name. By the way, that is full name, sorry. For the read form, that is full name. Parang they are the same. We are using form in our update form. We have the action update process.php. In our read, we have action update process.php. Method post, they are the same, right? And then here, though pwede namang can I copy na lang this one, but I'll be using the kapag it's inside our echo, this one. Can you see it na it's inside our echo? Single quote, I'm using single quote there. Single quote. What if I will I will copy this one, including the form, basically. So including the form. So together with the update process. Ayun, wala na mute na. Okay, so let's go back here. We have the name, but then again we have to put the value, right? Then we need to put the value. Okay, this is the value for the ID. Then another value for the name. Again, this is the name of the columns. ID, name, and address. ID, name, and address. And then here we have also the address. Same. So let's see what will be the output there. In our update, same, I have the ID number, new name, and then address, right? So in our read, I have the name, ID, we have the name, and then we have the address. But if you will notice, parang it's not formal to see if this will be our read module. Parang it's not professional, right? So that's why you can hide. So using hidden, and so input type hidden, so that it will be hidden, even the label. So you can also remove the labels. Okay, so remove the labels. So I remove the label, so yeah, and also the break line. Okay, so let me remove the break lines, also save there. So I have the update module, but it is hidden. Okay, it is hidden, but it's in there. Meron siya doon, still in there. And then if I click the submit button, it will go to update process. So this is my update process. In my update process, basically I have the database connection, I have the navigation bar, and then also the ID. Where is it? It's in our update. In our read form, we have the ID. By the way, this is our ID. And then we have the full name. We have the full name. We have the update. Address, and then address with the following value. Okay. Yan. Let me change it for the meantime as text so that we can see. We have Juan, Maria, and Manila, and so on the like. Okay, so for example, I want to change this one, Maria Aquino, to Janelli. Manila, update, Janelli. So, for example, this one, I want to update this one to Mike. Update Mike. I want to change the address, San Fernando City. San Fernando City. Right? Yan. Parang same with true with this one. But rather than putting the ID number, right? Why not kasi dito we have already put the ID number. Diba? May ID number naman na dyan. Okay? Yan. To make it more professional, I will hide the text. Hidden. Save. So that, for example, wala yung form. So, basically, it will go to, sorry, it should be not in the update, right? Kasi ito, update process, right? Update process. So, dapat update form. Update form. Update form. So, yan, dapat update form siya. So that, if I click the update form, it will go to our update. Here. But the value, again, the value, we don't have yet the value here, right? So again, when we click the submit button, it will go to update form. This is our update form, and here we have the ID. So in our update form, you can say PHP, no, variable ID is equal to $_ post ID. Then form, we have the full name, and then we have the address. Now here, we will put a value, right? Single quote ba? Sorry, I forgot the right. Okay. Okay. Value is equal to PHP. Okay. I'm outside the PHP command. So here, if you want to put the PHP command here, kasi we need to have this one, the value echo extra 1 and then the full name. It should be inside another PHP. So this is my PHP. There. Okay. Full name. Then we have also the last value for the address. Save. Refresh. Yeah. Again, Janelli. Mike. Aquino. Maria Bawang. Maria Bawang. Maria. And then update. Leia. Update. Ellen. There you go. Okay, so again, in our form here, so in my form, this one. We created another table data. By the way, this is inside our looping statement. This is inside our looping statement. So we created a form here. So basically, in this update button here, we created a form for that. Okay, we just hide the text box there, and then we have the ID, name, and address. Okay, so if we put text in here, text, save, refresh. Okay, yan siya. And then if we click the update button, it will go to the update process, which is this one. So in our update process, we get the ID, the full name, the address, and then put that in our variables, ID, full name, and address. So update. And then in our form here, we call the variables. So that's why in our form, it will also display the data. Okay, the data of our ID number, the name, and address up there, and then you can change it already. And then if you click the submit button, it will go to update process. So in our update process, same, we will get the ID, full name, and address. So we have the ID, full name, and address, then put that in a variable, and then we have this one, the SQL command, update the information set, etc., etc., etc. Okay, so you can change it already. There you go. Okay, and so that is just only another method. We do have other methods. But I'll be discussing na lang that one later on. Even the delete. Pala no. Still have time. Oh, may time pa. Bakit yun? Because of the update. Again, we have an error here for the update. Why? Because in our update form kasi, we don't have yet the a data in our ID, full name, and address. So that's why undefined array ID, full name, and address, because we directly go to the update. But this is much more better rather than this, and then you have to put the ID number and then change the information. So ganito yung ginagamit namin ngayon. We're using this method. Okay? Ayan. Now for the delete, okay. Same with the form, using form also. Then we will put another table for the delete. Yan. This is just only a design, so let me remove. Yan, save, delete. Okay, and then we'll add another pala lang dito. Delete, save, refresh, delete. Okay, so we have the delete button. So same with the update. We created a form. Okay, so we have the delete, pero dapat sa kanya delete process. It should be delete underscore process. Delete underscore process. So we have the name. So if we click the delete button, it will go to the delete process. ID. It will go to the delete process. Parang ganun lang, okay. Let's see. I want to delete record number 5. I mean record number 4, delete. I want to delete record number 6. There you go. So rather than going here and then you have to put the ID number, why not directly go here and then delete, right? Okay, so that's all. So this is much more better rather than this one. Okay, so next will be search method, probably by next method and next. Okay, so I'll be posting my source codes and as well as my video demonstration.